years ago a couple of surgeries for fibroids, and I was working on my scar and also just making sure that I was completely healthy. And I wanted, not for TMI, but it's relevant for everything, my periods to be normal again. I was in perimenopause and I didn't want to be. So anybody who knows me knows I've been trying to reverse my age. I did it 15 years, so I'm biologically tracking around 34, 35, sometimes 36, but in a pretty good range because I'm chronologically 51, but my cells are acting younger. But that one thing with my periods not being normal, and Maddie got them back through acupuncture and her functional medicine and interpreting my labs in such a unique way that nobody else had done it before. Like, no matter what biohacking company or doctor had looked at my labs or anything that I had tested, her interpretation of what was correct was actually correct. The holdup for me was that I was fasting until 1 or 2 every day. And that was it. Not my diet, not my exercise, not my sleep, like nothing. It was literally this one thing where I was stressing out my body and it was causing everything else to cycle. And that's when Maddie, and I'll leave it, send it to you, was like, maybe we should create a company around this thing.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, I love our work together and I love our story of meeting and how Rev came really into fruition. And a little bit of my background, I am a licensed acupuncturist and herbalist. I have a functional medicine, a lot of functional medicine certifications, and I'm a little bit of a plot twist, a certified hypnotist as well. So I combine traditional Chinese medicine and functional medicine and really meditation and hypnotism, subconscious belief repatterning into comprehensive health programs for people. So I got my graduate school education in Austin, Texas. I moved up to Bozeman, Montana for a year where I practiced in an integrative clinic, working under some really cool mentorships, and then moved back to Boston about 3 years ago and began a private practice here, which is where I met Julie, which was so amazing, and had really amazing clients there. And really along the way, I developed my own health issues. And it's a little bit of a long winded diagnosis, but really centering around Lyme disease and environmental illness. And I really had to climb out of a hole of illness that was in my body and trying to heal my body holistically. That was really in line with my own values of how I prioritize healthcare. And really meeting Julie, I know that we talk about how we were able to improve her health and help continue to reverse her biological age, but she really helped me be able to really hone in on my sense of purpose and what I value for my life. So it was actually a pretty integral part of my healing process as well. So it's really a blessing that we were able to help each other in that way, which was really beautiful. Absolutely.
Let's go right into, we have some questions, but I think it's helpful to go through the 3 protocols. And Maddie, I will let you lead with the flagship.
Absolutely. I'm going to share my screen so we can kind of go through our website and understand a little bit more about who we are and what we stand for and what we believe in. Can everyone see my screen here, the Y Revs Health screen?
Nobody can talk, so.
Oh my gosh, that's right. Can you see it, Julie?
Yes, thank you. Thank you
Okay,
as
perfect.
well. I can see a chat. Thank you.
Oh, amazing. Okay. So why Rev Health? So we are the only women-led health span company that empowers you to transfer your mind, body, and spirit. Yes, we look at biomarkers. Yes, we want to understand what's going on with your physiology, but we also want to combine that with understanding what is going on with your mental health, what is going on with your sense of purpose, what is going on with your sense of spirituality. Traditional Chinese medicine blends this in really beautifully. Functional medicine is about understanding the whole person, and purpose sense living really understands, are we in line with what our soul needs for our lives in order to create the most vibrant health? So based off that, we created our 3 protocols that really tie in these themes together in different ways. So our like flagship protocol is our foundation protocol. And our foundation protocol, it's our longest and more comprehensive protocol that we have. It's a 6-month journey, and that really understanding that your new life can't wait. So we take a really in-depth look at your biomarkers. We want to understand what's going on from an inflammation standpoint, a nutrient standpoint. What is your body's physiology responding to? How is your thyroid looking? What are your iron panels like? Do you have any antibodies that are present in your system and autoimmunity? These are things that we really want to understand from a physical body standpoint, how that's impacting your life. We also have you fill out this really in-depth intake form that goes over, and Julie's laughing because
Well,
it's long.
we don't want to scare people though, because I think for me it was like really fun going through this because back to the point of when we met, doctors will ask you some basic questions about your health, but nobody asks about, do you fast? What kind of workouts do you do specifically? What is your sleep like? What is your environment like? What are your relationships? Do you like your job? These questions are in our intake form because health to us is very holistic. It's the whole picture. You can address your diet and exercise with a supplement, I guess, or a prescription, but it's not actually going to get to the root of maybe why those things are happening.
Absolutely. So this intake form, it really, just like Julie said, it combines all of these factors that we're looking into what determines how the well-being and the quality of your life. How are you relating to other people? How are you sleeping? How the questions that we really need to understand to create actual change that going on in your physiology. And kind of a tagline of the foundation protocol is real epigenetic change. And that comes from really understanding how you're living your life and how your body's responding to that. So the biomarkers are one piece of that, but understanding and how to tweak your lifestyle based on that is another huge part of it. And that's really important. So how our protocol works is you sign up for the protocol. We have you fill out this intake form that we were just describing that's really in depth. You complete your labs. And when we get all your labs in, we
Can
do,
we scroll down a little bit to show?
yes. Um, so we For the protocol prep, we were just discussing, you fill the intake form, it goes over sleep, stress, relationships. We'll send you detailed instructions for your test. Month one, when we get your test results back, our team creates this amazing report. It's 50 plus pages that goes over your intake form insights. So understanding what's going on with your sleep, how we can optimize your relationships, how you're relating to other people, the exercise. Julie gets into muscle fiber types. She has an amazing background in kinesiology and exercise science and a certified personal trainer for many, many years.
But we also have partnered with, not to interrupt you, but that's what we do.
Yes.
So we work together. But it's good. We like Voss Fitness, who we just who's our new partner. And I've been working out with them. They have celebrity clients in Boston, but then they also have real people clients like me. And they have a team of 16 people that will help with our guidance calls. And then everybody actually gets a call with them as well. And if they so choose, they can have them as a virtual partner for workouts. So it's like making sure that, and we're building our team for we also need to announce Skylar pretty soon too, our new nutritionist and dietitian that we've got.
Yes. So both Voss and Skylar are going to be really amazing partners in helping people with their specializations on their forms. So we have them look at the forms, but they can also, like Julie said, sign up to work with them individually. So we go through this one report. We give you all the suggestions that you need. And 3 months into it, about halfway, we meet with you again, 90 minutes. What needs to be worked through? Do we need to change anything? And then at about month 5, we retest everything to see that you're actually seeing true epigenetic change. We go over your lab results with you in one last 90-minute call and send you on your way. So this protocol is amazing. It's especially great for women who are going through big transition phases like entering perimenopause, preconception, wanting to have healthy children naturally. So we love this protocol.
Yeah, I maybe scroll down and show like the Voss and just a couple things. So so much information is on our website. And then I know, we've got a lot going down. And then even to scroll down to like who's it for, maybe Maddie might help too, of like, we really feel like it is like preconception, which Maddie can talk about more, but also perimenopause, and also just anybody who's feeling off, which happens a lot, especially for women. So I do think this protocol is right now, the way it's set up is for women. And it's for women who are going through some sort of hormonal imbalance, which basically is almost all of us, right? So at some point, as we're going through life. But even detoxification. So Maddie, your story with Lyme, Lyme disease and everything you've gone through with that, or mold, which I don't know whether or not you really want to talk about that today, but that's a part of your story, and that you have had to solve these after being gaslit by doctors,
Yeah, absolutely.
which every woman I know, no matter how old, 20 or 80, has had a doctor at some point tell her that her symptoms were not real. It was in her head. It's anxiety. And it is a beautiful, glorious day when you get your lab work and it proves otherwise.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it is so important. And then, Julie, do you want to go through our purpose protocol?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like yes, but I kind of want to go through longevity maybe first,
Let's do it.
but we'll just be super quick about it because I don't want to bog. And we also have a couple of questions that had come in. I want to leave room for Q&A, but longevity. So I know I can see there's a delay on, it takes a little bit. It's heavy. We'll optimize it. The new protocol.
Yes.
So we launched first with Foundation, but anybody who knows me knows that I've been working on reversing my biological age. And some people are like, why would you do that? Well, there's some personal reasons I want to do it. One is that I want to extend my time before I go into menopause. I'm 51. I have no intent to go in there sooner. Once that happens, unfortunately, you start to rapidly age. Even with hormone replacement therapy, I personally did not want to do the route of hormone replacement therapy. It works for some people, but it's just not something I want to do. And it's whether or not you even want to have a baby or extend your fertility. There are so many reasons, including your muscles atrophying as you get older, and bone loss, bone density loss, all these things that can happen that can affect your joints. But if you can reverse the age of your cells, you can actually start looking and feeling the age that you reverse them to. So me being able to do it 15 to 16 years, I mean, I'm seeing a difference in how I move, how I sleep, how I act, even how I look. Even like I used to have the 11s in between my eyebrows because I furrow my brow. I don't have them and I don't do Botox. Why is that? Well, my cells are acting younger. So I think this is a really interesting protocol for people who might not want to go through the entire 6-month program, or maybe they just want to double check, is my pace of aging tracking appropriately? And I can tell you right now, most people are tracking higher. And the good thing is you can fix it, you can reverse it. Like 99.9% of the time, we can give you a prescription, a lifestyle prescription for diet, exercise, stress reduction, and other things that are personalized, tailored to you, that will help you focus on what matters to bring your age back down and optimize it. It's really huge. And I know we have a new advisor, I'm not going to mention her name yet, who told me nobody cares about the science. And Kim, I know you know this person. And I was like, well, that might be true. However, we are the only company on the market right now that is combining a epigenetic plus telomere test, which measures the length of your cells, and the longer they are, the longer you live and your health span and lifespan. We are the only ones to do that, plus combine purpose. Purpose is super important because in all of the blue zones and people who live well past 100, they have community and they have a reason to live. They're excited every single day. They're optimist. It's not woo, it's literally linked to your health span and your lifespan. And you can see it with people who walk down the street who just love their lives and they are rejuvenated. Now it's linked. So we are teaching not only that, but also showing you the actual telomere length. I mean, nobody's done it before, and I think it's actually kind of cool. And if we wish me luck that I can speak about it at Harvard on the 2nd, we're going to just put that out there because I'm on the wait list as a speaker on this thing. So I am not going to stop talking about it because I love it. But Maddie, we can just move on to purpose too, because I think people can go on the website and look at it.
Absolutely.
And I definitely want you to talk about purpose because it's an entry point. It's an entry point
It
for
is.
anybody, anywhere. You can be in Germany. You can be in any country. You can be in any state. It's not medically licensed because we're not running biomarkers for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And the purpose protocol, it's so beautiful. It takes the part of building purpose that's in the longevity protocol and really packages it into these two 90-minute phone calls to get you really clear on what is your life purpose. So many people are striving to understand what lights them up. What is the direction that they want to move forward in? If there were no restrictions or limitations, what is it that you're doing with your life? And what are those limiting beliefs that are getting in the way in order to help you get there? So this is two 90-minute phone calls. It's a proven methodology in terms of creating frameworks, learning optimism, goal setting, really understanding what you need to do and the steps you need to take in order to create that dream life that is then going to improve your physiology, improve your sense of purpose, improve your sense of longevity. So it is this entry point that really works in beautifully with our other two protocols and allows people in other states and other countries to work with us because it's not medically regulated. So I love
And
this protocol.
not just two phone, I mean, the two phone calls are great. And both Maddie and I are taking them right now as we build out our team. And it combines sort of what I was doing with consulting and with Maddie's functional health and holistic viewpoint of life. But it's more educational and meaningful. But we also give you a framework. Like you're going to get a report that's really a guide, a practical guidebook with methodology. And that's what's going to help you shift your perspective. We also give you one whole year of our community, which some people are a member of the community. And anybody who's a member of any of the protocols can go on there. And we have weekly meditation, and Maddie is amazing at that, and some resources, some recipes. The other thing is, if you're in even this for any of the protocols, if we have events, whether they're local or we're going to be having an event in May. And actually, I just found out that in May, in Greece, because I know a couple of people have just come back from Greece, it's May 1st is a huge celebration and national holiday. We didn't even know this. It was because I kept talking to people about like May 1st, what's the meaning? But it's a sense of renewal. So anybody who joins any of these things will be able to go to our retreat May 1st to the 4th in Vermont at a discount. So anybody who's part of our community, and we just keep growing it. But this step-by-step framework is, I mean, it's really like Maddie and I honed it. It's like everything she was doing with functional, advice, and then what I was doing with the consulting for Fortune 10 leaders and executives. And it works.
Yeah, it proven methodology.
Yep.
And I think combining both of these perspectives, more holistic based living, understanding your purpose, understanding creating a clear vision for your life, it's beautiful. And the report is amazing. So these are our three protocols. And I definitely want to leave room for people to ask questions if they have any questions about what is coming up for who we are and who we serve and what we do. And I think, Julie, you had a couple questions for people.
I did. I mean, we can start unless somebody at any point just chat or raise your hand if you have questions. But I had some questions that had come in for people. So the biggest one was why 6 months? So Maddie, I'll let you take that because that is really in your wheelhouse.
Yes, the 6 months, you really do need that amount of time to actually see epigenetic change. So, especially for women, it takes 3 months for an egg to mature. When we are wanting to change your physiology, especially for women's hormonal health, understanding how cyclical our bodies are, we really do need to give it time. So, I know when people hear 6 months, oh my gosh, that's so long. Think of it as that's two eggs. So, in order for our health to really see that change, our bodies are that rhythmic. We have to give it time. So typically we approach it as 3 months of any kind of detoxification based work, anything we need to clear out of the body, whether that's physical, emotional, or spiritual. And then 3 months of replenishing, renourishing. And again, and from the physical, emotional, spiritual aspect, what are the things that we need to shift? Who do we need to tap into? What nutrients do we need to replenish in order to get you into that aligned physiology that you are hoping to be at the end of the 6 months? So it just takes time and habits and being able to build that over the 6 months to really build the foundation that you're looking for.
Well, in 6 months, we're going to have our retreat in Vermont. And 6 months, we were talking about 6 months ago, I mean, I had pictures of the eclipse, the solar eclipse that happened in Boston, and everyone was on my roof deck, and the entire universe seemed to be here. And I remember it like it was yesterday, but it was 6 months ago. So I've said this before in my past, like, well, I'll just wait until I feel better. And the time is now, because if you're not feeling well, you're not going to feel better in 6 months. And certainly we are about to enter, it's freezing cold in Boston right now. They actually haven't turned the heat on, Maddie, in my complex. So
Oh, interesting.
everybody's really cold
Love
right now.
that time.
And it just like got suddenly overnight. And there's a hibernation problem. When I used to teach aerobics, everybody would go to the gym January 2nd. I mean, it's not even a myth, it's real. Kim, anybody who, teaches yoga, people just have these moments where in the winter we hibernate, we don't really do a lot, but that's actually when you can make the habits. If you can create the habits to change in the winter, then you will keep them for the rest of the year. So we actually did, specifically the Boston cohort that starts on Tuesday, we did that for a reason, because by the time you're through it, you're going to look and feel amazing. And then you can come to Vermont with us and walk in the woods, and it'll be great.
It will be great. I know. I love that the end of that 6-month transformational journey is going up to Vermont in this incredible retreat, and I can't wait to talk more about it. So it does take the time, and something my grandfather used to say is that time is going to pass no matter what. So if we can spend that time doing something really purposefully aligned and working on our health, it's a good way to use that 6 months.
I'm wondering if we stop the screen sharing so people can see us.
Absolutely.
That better, maybe. Okay, so that was it. So 6 months was the big question. I had people saying, what did you do to reverse your age in terms of supplements? And then I had somebody actually on Instagram asking a similar question. I did, as you know, Maddie, we attempted for me to do the seed supplement for my lipase. And
Yes,
I'm just not really into it. So, I mean, I do my moon juice. Maddie, you know the ingredients better than I do for my.
yeah, it's more of a high quality methylated form of a multivitamin along with some adaptogenic herbs to regulate cortisol. So that's really wonderful.
But aside from that, nothing. Like,
Yeah.
no prescriptions and no supplements, and definitely not, injections of any kind. It's really, it's been lifestyle change. And so, we've talked about this before, that so some people don't want to know, like, I don't want to know. I don't actually want to run my biomarkers. I don't want to see it. Look, it's happening whether or not you want to see it. Like if you're aging fast, or if you're going through, early perimenopause, or if you have issues with fertility, it's happening, as Maddie says, whether or not you want to know. Um, I'd rather know so that I can make the change that I need to change. But it's a whole lifestyle, and that's what we teach with the longevity too. Like the reports are long because it can't be said in one page PDF. It's not so simple to just, and it's personalized. So I don't know. Maddie doesn't know until you get the report.
Absolutely. If I have learned anything from dealing with all of the health issues with Lyme and moles and et cetera, it's that you intuitively know before those test results come back that something is going to be up. And the tests just provide a lot of clarity and validation in order to move forward with a really targeted approach that's really personal to you. So the reports are amazing because not only is it the labs, but it's going to tell you how to live in alignment with what your physiology is saying. And that's really important.
Oh, I like that. Live in alignment with your physiology.
Yes, yes.
Remember our new mentor who was like, we need a better activity. But as a lot of people, the other thing is, somebody said, so you're a startup, basically, what does that mean? And are you going to be around and all of this? And so Maddie has been doing her practice for years and years. And I've been doing startup things and companies for the past 25 years. And was actually just even thinking about that. I started my career as a journalist in 1997. So that was, well, you were born before you were born.
1992.
I know this, but I think that's also interesting too, because we've got the perspective of multi generations, and a lot of times that doesn't really happen. And the reality is, the things that you do in your 20s or 30s, it's going to make the difference to how you feel and look when you're in your 40s and 50s. And even if you do everything wrong, it's okay. You can reverse it, right? But it would be a lot easier if you take the steps earlier in your life. It does catch up to you, and it catches up fast. I've said this before that I often still think I'm 35. And I guess my cells think they are. So yeah, that's good.
Absolutely. And it is when we hear about, I think we hear more about it emotionally rather than we hear about it physically. But when people reach a point at the middle of their life where they sort of wake up and they're like, oh my gosh, what has happened? Where am I? And my life isn't fulfilling. The same thing happens on that physical level where all of a sudden we have a health crisis or we wake up and we realize we're not happy. We don't have to exist in that space. It's something that we can create change now so that we don't have those moments down the line of running into a health crisis or waking up one day and realizing that we are unhappy. So Julie said it earlier, the time really is now to create that change.
Boston cohort question
Yes.
for somebody that can't get in. I I think some people, because the link had changed.
Yeah.
Okay. We're figuring stuff out.
Lessons learned.
Boston cohort. I don't know if we want to bring it up on it's a little bit, it's the foundation protocol, but some extra special stuff. And don't worry, we're going to do it for California and Texas and other places soon.
Yes, we are. The Boston cohort's amazing. It begins October 15th, this coming Monday. Officially, our first event.
Tuesday.
Yes, very soon. Our first event is going to be on November 1st. So what's really special about the Boston cohort is that it is a group of women who are going to be going through the foundation protocol at the same time. So we do really highly emphasize community. We have an online community that Julie had mentioned earlier. And the Boston cohort is being able to add in the in-person community to that as well. So with our 3 in-person events, being able to go through this process with other women at the same time. So while it is our foundation protocol, is our Boston cohort, any members that are in the longevity or the purpose protocol can join those events as well. So we're creating an even bigger community, not only in Boston, but in the Massachusetts area in general. And we have, like Julie had said, partnered with Boss Fitness. So being able to include that in the Boston cohort is really amazing. So
yeah, she'll be there. Laura will be there. And at least one of her team, who's got 16 people. So that will be interesting. And then I think we might have a good problem of that. We might need to move from where the location is right now, which is really exciting for me. So we'll see. Because I'm limited with the space, how many people. But I do think it will be good, like, because we are in Boston right now. But Maddie is getting licensed. And so that was another thing. So the other question was, why are you only in 3 states for the lab work?
Yes. So because we are governed by a medical license, acupuncture is a medical license through a medical board, in order to be able to provide the care through the foundation protocol and the longevity protocol, it is limited to the states that I currently have licensure in. So Maine, Massachusetts, and Montana. Texas should be in the next couple weeks, I am thinking, and then California by the beginning of next year, and Florida probably sometime in between those two. So we are currently expanding, which is really exciting. But the purpose protocol, again, is open to anyone, anywhere.
I see a question that we had come in is, can you read labs that are gathered by other doctors, say someone in another country? This is a great question and one that I really would like an answer to.
Yes. So because it is, even if the labs are ordered by someone else, because some medical provider is providing guidance on what those labs might be, it is still governed by a medical licensure by state. So if you have a lab review, we do have an option on the website if you already have labs to schedule a functional lab review. And that is currently still limited to Maine, Massachusetts, and Montana. But like I said, currently expanding soon to Texas, California, and Florida. But great question.
Yep, it's a great question. And then I think, I mean, who knows what the future will bring? I'll just say that, because so many things are happening so quickly. There is possibly other ways that we'll think of how to do it. But with Maddie's license, it is a medical license. And I think that's really important to remember is she's not a health coach, which if Maddie was simply a health coach, but she is that on top of everything else. You could read the labs from an educational perspective. So when we do our community, sort of educational things, like we had something on PCOS, it's very educational and broad. But the second we have your birth date, it falls under medical, and that's just the way that it is. So licensed and the California license is so huge because it's primary care. You can have an acupuncturist as your primary care, which is incredible. And I think completely needed because the Western medicine and it for me didn't really work. It failed me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think more states, Florida's like that as well, where acupuncture is
Yeah.
considered primary care. And it's definitely, I think acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine is the validity of the medicine is starting to be more public, which is very exciting and more accepted. So I'm excited to expand into states where that medical recognition is taken really seriously. So it's going to be really amazing, not only for my profession, but for Rev. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Any other questions? I've got some other things coming in. Oh, well, collaboration. So that's okay. That's interesting. But we have a call with her next week, so that's interesting. So people were asking about the collaboration. So is it covered by employers? Could it be covered by employers as an employer benefit? What, health clubs, fitness clubs, why do we have that why are we working on that? Some people have been asking about that. And well, first of all, Maddie, maybe you can speak to the insurance part a little bit of that. We are not doing that.
Absolutely. We don't take insurance. Insurance provides a lot of red tape that is going to limit our ability to care for people in the way that we want to. And in order to stick true to our values and what we consider important for providing mind, body, and spirit care, insurance just isn't a reality. So we definitely do consider this an investment in your health, and we understand that it is a cost. We do have payment plans available for that reason in order to be able to help you with that.
But I think with the collaboration, so employer benefits, yes, we are talking to some employers and we would love it. So if you are working for somebody and they're very innovative and they want to offer this, I know some companies will offer like 6 to 10K for IVF to help you with egg freezing and things like that. And we would be a great, nice option if they want to offer it. And then, of course, the health clubs, and some of you guys know that we're country clubs and stuff that we're talking to sort of expand out our offerings. So our hope is, and if Maddie and I are sort of dividing and conquering, like that sort of enterprise world is just a very natural fit for me from my consulting days and startup days. So that's kind of where I've been living and why you don't see me as often on Instagram. Whereas Maddie is famous on Instagram on
Oh
her
my gosh.
personal.
I don't know about that, but we definitely do. We make such a good team because we're able to approach it just on different levels and different perspectives. So it's been really fun to be able to work more bigger picture in that way, being able to reach more people with more of these collaborations and the individual consumer too. We love being able to do both.
Yeah. And then the in-person, it connects us with, the woman of Massachusetts for this first one. But we do have big plans for Texas and California.
It's going to be really fun.
And
Really.
Montana, because people are
Yeah.
like, why Montana? And so, you're licensed right now in Maine, Montana, and Massachusetts. So that's
Yes. Yes, that's right. Yes, those three states.
but expanding. Although it's difficult, right? So these exams are
Yes.
not easy. I mean, they're medical exams.
Yes, California, for whatever reason, it has their own state board exam. So as Julie knows, I'm currently studying. It's going to take a few months to pass that board exam. But other than that, the rest of it's just logistics and paperwork. So it just takes time. California is difficult, but that's a little bit of a different story. But it'll be amazing to expand into that market. I think we're both like really, really excited.
And I will say this because if you have an address in any of those states or an office,
That counts.
that
Absolutely.
counts.
Absolutely. So there are certain workarounds that we can help people if you have a vacation,
Yeah.
an office space
Yeah.
there. Yeah, just let us know. And we
If
can
you have a second or third home,
Yes.
whatever happens to in Massachusetts or something, or if you have an address here or an employer here, it works. And so even with my consultancy, we had the two addresses. I had a California address, but we also had a Massachusetts address, and that counts. So we just need to be able to be under the state that we're licensed in. But again, the purpose protocol is open everywhere. That's actually why we did it in some ways. We took out that piece of longevity and said, well, and then even with longevity, the telomere test is also regulated. So, in order to get the interpretation from it. So anybody anywhere can probably get one of these tests. You can, I mean, I think in the future, you're going to be able to walk into Walmart and get, biomarker testing. But to have the review from somebody who actually is, has the credentials, it's going to be licensed by medical, which
Yeah.
is good. And nobody is Maddie. Like I said, I mean, I have like a rather famous doctor who's all over the place on Instagram, and my interpretation of my lab results were not accurate, but Maddie's was.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very high praise. I appreciate it.
But
And
you've been doing this for a long time and have a fan club in Boston, which is why we did the first Boston cohort. It's like Maddie's fan club.
oh my gosh. Oh, that's so sweet. I love
So yeah, because you've changed life. So it works. That's the thing too. It's like we know this too, like especially traditional Chinese medicine. I mean, I'm a huge fan of that because it works. But
yeah,
then the combination, it does
works.
work.
And there's a reason that it's been around for such a long time. And we tend to forget the pendulum swings. We tend to forget the old ways of medicine. And I think we went hyper Western modern. And what we're seeing, and Julie and I have talked about this so many times, that even with all the inventions and the innovations in the medical field and AI, that people are still so sick. And so the pendulum, I think, is swinging back around to being able to incorporate, yes, our modern world, but also finding those roots again that we both consider really important to our health.
Any more? Do you have anybody that came in and looked? I know there was a couple of your people.
Any more
Maddie.
questions?
Anybody else? Oh, wait, there's a chat. I see chat. I see. Yes, Maddie.
My cheerleader. So sweet.
I mean, it's good though because this is how we met. So a couple of people, and even Beth, who I will announce soon, so I can say her name. So our new, getting advisors and how are we growing, kind of talking through that. And this is not my first rodeo with startups, as some of you guys know, and so it's a crawl, walk, run. But one of the things that we're doing is we're building up this team for wellness coaches. And right now, again, it's like the states that we're limited in doing these and just making sure that everything's compliant. But we are getting people who just help us expand our offerings. Both Maddie and I have the credentials to be able to do the report as it is, but it just makes it so much better to have a team of people, and it allows us to scale. So what happens is you get something more. So the current people, for example, in Massachusetts and in Maine, they now get the extra 45-minute free guidance call with Boss. And I had sent out an email to people and everyone was like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. It's like just giving more. So, which is what we're trying to do. It's more of the consulting term is a value add. But
yes, the value add.
It's
so important. I think that in Julie's consulting business and in my personal practice, having more perspectives and having that value add of having these experts in their fields and Julie and I are vetting them individually. They're people that we trust to align with our values, and we take our values exceptionally seriously. Yeah. Anyone who really has worked in their health the way Julie and I have, we will only work with people who we really believe will add expertise through the lens of Rêve Health. So these people are amazing. I'm so excited for more people to be able to work with them.
And I know there are some people, who are going to probably listen to this later who know us both very personally. So we have actually rejected some advisors and funding that would potentially come in because they're not aligned with our values. And so the reality is we both very much believe in this integrative holistic health. We really do. And we're not going to compromise our values on that. Everybody who knows me knows exactly where I stand with, with health. And that for me, it has worked to be holistic.
Yes. Yeah. Both living, breathing examples of what is possible.
Yeah. What is possible.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So we will continue to find our people and serve people who are also really aligned with that and want to age gracefully and naturally and want to natural conception and feel better longer and have a vibrant life. Nobody wants to be 100 and be sick, but what if you could be 100 and look and feel like you were 30? Who wouldn't want that? It's awesome. And all of the things that we're doing to help that naturally and holistically, which is possible. It's kind of cool.
It's the coolest thing ever.
It is cool. May 1st to 4th. But anybody can join if you're in the States for both of those protocols. And then I know it was a little confusing when we were first launching. And of course, that's part of the thing with the startup is you got to get it out there and then get the feedback, which we did. But the purpose protocol is open to anywhere. If you've got the codes, if you've got the friends and family code, if you don't hit us up, but anything like that, it's expired really soon. Like we can't, because as we grow and get advisors and other people on board, it's still a business, right? And the more that we can grow, the more that we can help more people. B Corp, that was the last question. I guess I can address it really quickly. Yes. You want to go there?
No, please go ahead.
Oh, I think, well, no, I feel like because it's like, this was so important to you, Maddie, that I am going to throw it back on you.
Yeah. Well, I do appreciate that actually, because it was, as we expand and as Julie mentioned, we're kind of targeting these markets at different levels. We want these bigger enterprise deals. We do, because it really helps our business expand and to be able to help more people. But we also do, as you know from our values, deeply care about the individual consumer. So as we grow, we are going to be working to get a certified B Corp, which will allow us to give back to this community that we care so deeply about. So women who really value their holistic health, maybe the price point is a little too high. We want to be able to give back to people and organizations that can support this type of healing. So that is in progress.
Like even college students, and the way it works, it's a benefit corporation. You literally just can't get it when you're a first company because you have to run, usually 2 years of taxes. I mean, that's the boring thing, showing profit. And then you can determine what part of your profit goes to a benefit. What's the benefit? So that's a very exciting thing. And that was, Maddie, it's like, it is important. And then we are speaking, I guess we can talk about this too. We're going to speak at Northeastern on the 20th, my alma mater. I went to grad school there. So we're going to be talking there with a group of students asking about, how to run a business and also help, feeling vibrant and tapping into your purpose. So that's exciting. So we're going to, to me, it's really important to talk to multiple generations.
Absolutely. Because as we know, the earlier that we can start these things, not only does it help your health and your mindset down the road, but it also is just longer of you living in alignment. Who doesn't want that? So being able to talk to this group at Northeastern, we're both really, really excited. It's going to be really
I know. And it's here, right? So every time Maddie and I are like, let's move back to California.
Yes, there's unfinished business here.
There's unfinished business here for sure. So we love our Boston and Massachusetts members because it's not just Boston; it's the whole state and Maine. We love people everywhere. Okay, I think we're done. Unless anybody has more questions. I know we wanted to put this up as a recording.
Yes,
people because it's a long holiday weekend, which by the way we didn't know.
We both of us actually didn't know. We were losing track of days, but that's okay.
It's okay. We're here to serve, and
yes,
so that's what happened. All right.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We really appreciate it. And if any other questions come up, please let us know. Again, like Julie was saying, those discount codes are going to be available through the rest of this month. So if you have them, if you have any questions about the protocols, you want to be able to utilize them, let us know. If you don't have a discount code, you can also reach out and we'll talk to you about giving you something special.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone. I hope everyone has a great weekend and we'll talk to you.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.